Hello everyone, I'm going to try this again. So last week the audio was not so good, so I'm going to try it again. Hopefully this will be a little better this time. I want to talk to you this week too, and we're really going to jump straight in. This class, as I mentioned in week 1, is about you developing your skill set. And I don't want you to lose track of the things that I'm going to talk about in this particular lecture. This is why I'm recording this one. There's another recording from last year, but I've added something to this in the past year. I want you to remember something throughout this course, throughout practicum, on your way into being professionals. First and foremost, I want you to remember that each of you are on a journey to becoming healers. And that is something sacred. That is something sacred in all cultures. All cultures have people that are considered healers. In our culture, we rely on doctors, nurses, counselors, psychologists, you name it. Those people are considered the healers in our cultures, much like a shaman or the elders might be, or religious figures might be in other cultures. So there comes with that a sense of ownership that, wow, this is a big responsibility. But more than that, I want you to keep that in mind and in your heart as you move forward, because that will help you when you have all these papers thrown at you when you're first supervised, when you have to do all this stuff for billing and create notes and diagnose people. Please remember this, that first and foremost, essentially, you're a healer. And when you have all these microcosmic things that you're supposed to do, and in this class, all these hundreds of skills and 47 techniques that counselors should know, in the end, the essence is that we're trying to help heal people. People are coming to us because they're hurting, because they have ailments, because they're afflicted with suffering. And that is our goal, that is our mission, to help heal people. And we've got some tools at our disposal. So don't lose track of that. First and foremost, I've released an article by Bruce Wampold this week that talks about effect sizes for different techniques. Wampold, his research was about which one of all these counseling theories, approaches is most effective. And what he found was that over all of them, they're basically roughly the same. That there are some certain common factors that under each one of these, then, since they're all somewhat the same, can be found to be attributable to why people change, why people get better. And 80% of this, of the change, he talked about common factors. There's a huge effect size for the first 3 things, and you guys worked on this as strategies and techniques, and I want you to keep this as the bedrock of your approach. Empathy. Basic empathy, basic rapport, basic collaborative relationship, trust between client and counselor. This is the bedrock upon which you're going to build your practice. And there are certain things that you can do, with the active listening, with the eye contact, with the unconditional positive regard, with your affect, your emotions being congruent, you being congruent with what your client is talking about with you. You're mirroring them in a sense. You're reflecting back what they're saying. Reflections do so much good. Reflections help you. First of all, they help you remember what the client is saying. And so therefore, when you're going back 3 or 4 sessions in the future and thinking about what happened 3 or 4 sessions ago, you reflected those. Your neurons played those over and they came out of your own lips. There's a complicated process to produce speech, which is, you're very clear when I'm trying to talk, when you're trying to suffer through what I'm trying to explain to you. But it is complicated, and it makes new synapses, so you'll remember that. more importantly, the client is going to hear what they said. Their thoughts are going to be out loud, and then they're going to come back to them as if played almost in a recording.